Right then. So I have a wedding story for you.
Oh dear.
Yeah, a wedding story. I mean, it's not my wedding story. It's something that I found online, but it's quite a story. Um, I know that some of you guys probably remember the story we said about how a couple got a divorce and was trying to get their money back from the photographer, which
Yeah.
obviously was a bit crazy. But this one is also a little bit crazy. I'm going to read it out, just so that everything is
Okay.
right, and see what you guys think. So this is the story. So
Let's hear it.
when my best friend was getting married, she asked me to be her photographer for the day. It was my wedding gift for her. The bride and groom were very happy with the results, and it was all good, basically. So a couple of weeks later, I receive a call from an unknown number. So the caller goes, "Hi, I hope you still remember me from the wedding. I saw the pictures you took, and they are so neat." This is obviously American, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Of which the author replies, "Hi, thank you. Were you the one with the baby blue dress?" The caller says, "Yeah, that was me. I was just wondering, I'm going to get married in 3 weeks. Could you give me your address so I can send you an invitation?" So the author's like, "Wow, thank you." She doesn't really know this person, basically. And the caller goes, "Don't worry about a wedding gift. You can bring your camera and take pictures." So the author then went, "So you don't want to invite me, but to hire me?" And the caller said, "No, silly. I invite you as a friend, and I ask for the same gift as you did for your friend." She got pretty upset when I told her that this isn't going to happen. When I told my bestie about what she was about this, she was really sorry. The girl was her cousin and kept asking for my number, even though she begged her not to bother me. So basically, what you got there is someone trying to get free wedding photography. What do you think to that?
It reminds me of, and let's be honest here, okay, that's first of all, people have got different budgets. Some people have got a really good budget, a high budget to spend on their wedding, and then you've got a lot of people that just don't have really anything to spend, but they still want to have a great wedding day and they still want to have a great photo. So so what we'll do is we'll not dismiss that factor, about people have their budgets, and we have to respect the fact that some people have this huge budget and some people would love to have a huge budget, but they just don't, but just can't. Okay. Yeah. So, but there are people looking for deals and to try and get something free. So a lot of people will hire a friend, a keen photographer, and we've been through that before. I mean, hiring a friend to do your wedding photography, yeah, is a big no-no for lots of reasons. It's a great way to fall out.
Although it went well in that story, because obviously the original thing was she went to this wedding and as a gift she took the photos.
Yeah.
Because she was her best friend.
Yeah.
And that went fine.
Okay. So that's fine. Now, I know from them where I do the teaching from the classes that I run, that I get emails. And I get a handful every year of saying that I'm getting married, and do you have a student who could do our wedding for us, and it will be great for their portfolio? Okay,
that one,
right? And that's a very common request.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a very common request. Okay, great for their portfolio. Yeah, which is the biggest insult to any photographer.
It just winds me up, that one.
It does, doesn't it?
Great for your portfolio.
It'd be great for your portfolio. It'd be great. You're going to get loads of sales from those pictures. Yeah. Loads of people are going to buy them. No, they're not. No one's going to buy them, right? No. It's not going to happen, and you don't need it, and you don't need it for your portfolio. And unless you approach somebody and said, "Look, I'm trying to expand my portfolio. I'd really be interested in doing your wedding." Now that's very different. But when someone else approaches you about that, okay, so people are always looking out for, there are people looking, they want photos, but they can't afford to have them done. That's fair enough. But I think it's the approach some people take where, that whole thing about, there's two things that are said. There's the portfolio, it'd be good for their portfolio, and also we'll give, I've had this, right, where at times I've said, we'll provide them with some food, and they can have a drink as well, right? It's like, and everything about it is insulting. And I do reply back to these people, and I actually say, First of all, we don't do this because we would never put any of our students in a situation to do anyone's wedding day. It's the most important day, at that point in their life. Okay. And we're not going to take a risk. I'm not going to destroy the confidence of a student who's never done this before, because it's very easy to say, oh, well, we're not bothered about it before, any photos will be good. Then afterwards, everyone complains, and that happens with friends. I know this has happened so many times when a friend has done a friend's wedding and they're fallen out because the photos weren't what they're expecting, whereas actually beforehand I was saying, oh, don't worry about it, we only want you to take a few photos, we're not that bothered, anything will do. But after the event they're thinking, well, actually, hang on a minute, they're not very good. So, and then there's a falling out.
Yeah.
Now this person here is, I mean, it's obviously a real chancer, to say that, I'd like you, I'm inviting you to my wedding, and there's a gift. I mean, really, it just smacks of just, it's everything
also,
that's wrong, isn't it?
I mean, the other thing that struck me is that I'm getting married in 3 weeks' time.
There's that as well, yeah.
I mean, what's going on there? I mean, why is it that you think that, that's good in any respect? It's just kind of crazy, I think photography is a very highly skilled job. Not only have you got to know all your exposures and you got to know poses, you've also got to basically be crowd control. You are organizing the day pretty much. Most of the times. There are exceptions to that. Some people have good Toastmasters or whatever. But yeah, basically but basically you are running the day if there's none of those people around. So, you've got to organize things with the venue. You've got to, you are, because lots of people have their own agendas as well. The venue want to get stuff done on time. They've got their brief. They've got their targets to do. The photographer's got the same. I'm guessing that sometimes you have like singing waiters. They've got to do their thing, and you've got to organize all of this. Yeah, and that's the stuff that people don't see. So if someone was like, "Oh, I invite you to a wedding," and bring your camera, I'll be like, well, "No, I mean, it's up to me to offer that." Yeah. But also, if there is a if there is a photographer there, you kind of, I always feel like I don't want to undermine the photographers that's there. So it's very rare to take my camera to a wedding. Yeah,
that's right. Now, and I think back the last 2 weeks that we've done and where we had to go to, I wouldn't say where we were working with these graduations, but they were, three for us both. They were 3-hour drives away, weren't they?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, much.
And I remember for the first one, I had to drive there, go and set up. And then I wasn't there for the first day of the event because I had a wedding to shoot. So I came back and then we shot a wedding, shot that wedding. And on that day, it chucked it down with rain all day. It did not stop. So we had to do everything inside. Then that was on the Friday. Then on the Sunday, we then left for the big first week of the big graduation. Yeah. Okay. And then we had a wedding on that weekend, and again it chucked it down with rain all day. And then we went back to we went back to the job, and we carried on shooting there. Now that took it out of us, right? Physically, mentally, we were, we were frazzled.
It's a lot.
But nobody at the wedding, no one at the graduation ceremonies could see that we were frazzled. They could see that we were on it. We were on top of it. We were. They had no idea at all. And on top of all that, with 2 weddings, which have had the worst weather that I can remember, 2 weddings running, the worst weather that I can remember for a long time, where everything was washed out. We still had to produce the photos that the bride and groom expected, crowd control, do everything indoors and everything. And then this mammoth shoot that we had. And that's what you're paying for. You're paying for a photographer to be able to do these things. To be able to manage all of these things at the drop of a hat, to say it's chucking it down with rain. You can't just say, look, actually, hang on, you know what? We're going to have to scrap these photos. We can't do them. We're not going to be doing any photos for you. You've got to come up with the next best option. And that next best option has got to be as good as anything that you were planning to do outside. So, when people say about a photographer, and they try and get something for free. And again, don't get me wrong. I respect the fact that some people don't have the budgets for it. But when some people try and get something for nothing, or where they don't appreciate what a photographer's role is, and then that's their ignorance, I suppose, is to put it politely.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's also incredibly insulting, and it shows a lack of respect for the profession as well. So yeah, I mean, and the fact that person got upset when the author, the photographer, was like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know you. You're just inviting me, so you get free photography. That's essentially what you're doing. You don't want me there, really." Of
course,
yeah. It's just. I don't understand the mentality of somebody. You wouldn't do that to any other profession, would you?
No, of course you wouldn't. You don't go. We've had this sort of analogy before, don't we? I don't know. We've said about walking into a restaurant or walking to a bar or something, isn't it? Or something. You don't take your own drink or something. I can't remember what it was.
You don't bring your own burger into Mackie D's, do you? That's essentially my point there. Yeah.
I'd say and that is true. That is a good way of putting it, but that's how it is. So but interesting, because people, that is, a lot of wedding photographers are faced with that. A lot of people who are getting married want to have wedding photography, but they want to have it done cheap or free. They want something for nothing, and they do try it on.